Patricia with through-these-eyes.com. And once again, I want to talk to you about a pretty controversial subject. On July 1st, a man by the name of Francisco Sanchez was accused of and arrested for shooting a young woman by the name of Kathryn, or Kate Steinle, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. Anyway, right here. Was shot in San Francisco. He was arrested, and it has been since discovered that he is here illegally. He is a Mexican national and has already served time for, I think he served 4 years for federal charges. I believe it's regarding drugs. I'm not sure what he was arrested for. But the point is, he had been deported 5 times, and this was his 6th illegal entry into the United States, and was released on the streets of San Francisco, and now has murdered an innocent woman. The big controversy over this, aside from the fact that an innocent woman was murdered, is the fact that San Francisco is what's considered a sanctuary city. Now, sanctuary city has different meanings for different people, and at some point, I believe it was in the late 90s, around 1996 or so, San Francisco, as well as a lot of other major cities across the United States, declared themselves sanctuary cities. The reasons behind it are various, but the most common, cities, mayors, and so forth, politicians, were trying to make it easier for people that are undocumented or illegal or whatever you want to call them, come forward and saying, hey, you know, I saw this violent attack, I saw this rape, I know somebody who broke into somebody's house, whatever the case may be, to come forward without them having the risk of, you know, well, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be deported. They were trying to take that fear off the table. The problem is, with that reasoning, you have lots of people that are here illegally and take advantage of this situation. They have no fear whatsoever of being arrested or deported, and so therefore they almost have a free ticket to perform all kinds of illegal activity. Drug smuggling, human trafficking, and then your basic, you know, rape, murder, theft, drug abuse, so on and so forth. So, anyway, the big controversy again is because San Francisco is a known sanctuary city, and this man, Sanchez, was under federal custody. He was released in Los Angeles and transferred to San Francisco to face other drug-related charges. The problem is San Francisco decided that they would dismiss the charges and just let the man go, even though there was a federal request for detainment. If they were going to let him go, to let them know so they could come back. ICE, or Immigration and Customs Enforcement, could come in and take him back into custody and have him deported. Because San Francisco is a sanctuary city, they didn't feel that they needed to let the federal government know that they were about to release this 5-time convicted felon. Actually, I believe he's been convicted 7 times, or he's at least been accused 7 times, but he was deported 5 times. Anyway, my view on this subject, on sanctuary cities and this enormous tragedy, it should not have happened, of course. No one innocent of just walking down the street with your parents or friends or whatever should be gunned down in cold blood with no reason. That is just horrendous. I love San Francisco. I've been there several times, and it's a great place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. It's quite a liberal city. But anyway, that being said, this man, again, had been deported 5 times and was able to come back in each time without fear of deportation. What does that tell us about our border and our border security? Much less what it tells us about our various local governments and law enforcement agencies that feel like, oh well, we'll just let this one go. We won't tell the federal government. We won't tell ICE that we're about to let this guy go. That I can't even begin to express how disgusted I am with that. This man should never have stepped foot again in our country. This is a sovereign nation, and for him to just feel like, oh well, I'll just come back because they won't throw me back, just really says something about our our immigration and our immigration laws. Who is at fault? So many people are, blaming the federal government and blaming the local government in San Francisco, blaming Los Angeles government for transferring him over, so on and so forth. Let's blame the mayor, let's blame the chief of police. A few are actually blaming the individual, right? And because I'm all about individual responsibility, he did pull the trigger. I gotta say, he claims that it was an accident. He claims that he found this gun wrapped in a t-shirt and somehow it just went off 3 times and hit this woman in the back. Yeah, okay, sure. Let's assume that he is correct and that, I picked it up and it went off. So, what the hell does that matter? He killed someone. He killed someone and he shouldn't have even been here. Who do I blame in this? Society. In general, I blame society because we want to be this soft-hearted, let them in, they just want to work. He says he just wanted to get a restaurant job or a landscaping job. Lots of people just want a landscaping job or a restaurant job. I can't believe that people are still blind to the fact that hundreds, thousands of people are crossing our border daily, in hopes of some to take jobs that, to help feed their families, but most, and I do say most, aren't thinking that way. They come here to take advantage of what is in this country, not just to take advantage of social programs, but to take advantage of our beautiful country, to take advantage of the fact that they have easy access to just about anywhere in this nation once they cross the border, to do illegal activity like drug trafficking, human trafficking, to commit these crimes knowing that there's really no serious punishment. And even if they are arrested and even if they are gone through the process, in the meantime they get 3 meals in a cot. That's not too bad, especially for someone who comes from a third world country who doesn't know where their next meal is coming from. That seems like a pretty good deal. Okay. Again, Kate was simply walking with her father and a friend on Pier 14 in San Francisco, enjoying the afternoon. She'd done nothing wrong. This man, who San Francisco authorities knew that the federal government wanted him detained, chose to ignore it and release him. Now, to me, that's anarchy. They knowingly went against federal law, saying, we're above the law, and we're just going to let the man go. Whatever. He's all right. What? And who's being held responsible for this? Yes, bottom line, the man killed someone, so he needs to be held responsible. But there are more than just this one individual responsible for that young woman's death. And I blame the sheriff, I blame the mayor, I blame our governor, and I blame ICE because, and this is key to me, if he was already in ICE custody, why was he released to San Francisco, a known sanctuary city, just requesting, let us know before you let him go? Why? Well, it was, to face charges in that area. Who the hell cares? He was already in federal custody. They could have just deported him again. I'm not even really sure if that would have done any good, since obviously he's been back several times. So the Obama administration has directed the feds, our federal law enforcement agencies, ICE, to just, let's see, what is it? Deport felons, not families. In other words, if we don't really know that they've done something bad and we catch these people maybe in a minor traffic offense, just let him go. He's probably got a family, just let him go. What? No. Okay. Look, all this PC crap about, oh, we can't call them illegal aliens because, they're not aliens, they're still earthlings. Or we can't call them illegal immigrants because, there's nothing, a person isn't illegal, they're just undocumented, or they're undocumented workers. Well, guess what? If they don't have a job and they're stealing and they're robbing and they're raping and they're pillaging, they're not workers either, are they? You want a non-PC label for these people? How about invaders? In order to be an immigrant, you have to come here unannounced. Hi, I'd like to immigrate to your country. I'd like a work permit for, to be in your country. Sign the guest book before you come in. If you're coming in unannounced, sneaking through, being smuggled in, that to me is a silent invasion. It's not an immigration. Somebody comes into my house uninvited, that's not an immigrant. That's a lawbreaker. That's a criminal. That is someone who is invading my home. And guess what? I have the right to shoot him. And I would. A little off topic, but I've had this discussion with several people, and my view on this whole, border issue and securing the border, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about it because it's not PC, but yeah, I'm not so much a PC person. I think we need to have the National Guard at that border, and I say you just shoot. I'm not saying you gotta shoot them in the head. I'm not saying, you gotta take them out as soon as you see them. But you know what? You start aiming and shooting and firing, and you'll get less and less people at that southern border trying to sneak in. You don't need a fence. You just need armed guards at the border. That's a deterrent. Anyway, okay, so back to this poor woman. Somebody, aside from this disgusting man, needs to be held accountable for what happened to her. And I think it needs to go all the way from the local sheriff up to the Obama administration for allowing this kind of crap to happen. It boggles the mind, people, that, well, we don't want to hurt innocent people by just deporting them. That they allow innocent American citizens to die, to be hurt, to be beaten, and they just overlook that. They talk about, well, we're doing this for the greater good. Really? Whose greater good is that? It disgusts me that politicians are too afraid to speak the truth. Now, with the upcoming elections, there are lots of Republicans and a few Democrats that are running for president. And we have a wide spectrum of people that, are for, all the way to the liberal left with Hillary Clinton and her ilk, espousing amnesty, and these people are coming here out of love. Well, now that's Jeb Bush's idea here. They just come here out of love. They want to support their family. Yeah, you might have a few bad apples coming in, but you got to look at the bigger picture. No, you don't. The bigger picture is we are a sovereign nation with borders for a reason. And if we don't protect those borders, we have no nation. You want these people to come in to be able to work, to clean a house, to wash dishes, to mow your lawn? Well, okay, then focus on making work visas not only perhaps a little easier to obtain, because I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know what's required to obtain a work visa. I've never needed to get one. But I hear that it's very difficult and there's a long waiting period and so on and so forth and blah, 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 all these excuses to allow people to just come into the country as they want. Okay, so maybe we need to streamline or refine that aspect of it. But we also need stronger enforcement. Not more laws, because there are plenty of laws. People are just overlooking them. We need stronger enforcement. Hey, you know what? You have a 3-month work visa and it's about 3 weeks till that's out. Start knocking on some doors. Are you packing yet? Do you have your plane ticket? Because that Overstaying visas is another huge part of why we have so many illegal immigrants here. Those that, try to come the right way just happen to overstay the visa. Those that are being smuggled in, that's a little harder to detect, but you know what? It's possible. And all this crap of like, oh, well, we can't catch them all, we can't send them all back. Why the hell not? On the Mexican southern border, they do have armed guards, and they will shoot you. And again, I'm not saying you got to kill them all at the border, but you got to instill some fear in them that, you know what, we don't want you here without permission. And if that means firing off a few rounds to kind of get them to turn away, then so be it. It needs to be done. People, there are millions of Americans here without jobs that have just given up. And we have people here that are willing to come in and undercut our laws to get a smaller paycheck to send home. When people in Mexico are earning the equivalent of $2 a day, yeah, they'll work for $5. Doesn't matter that the minimum wage is $7.25. A lot of reform needs to happen, but the first fundamental start of that reform is securing our border and getting those, especially felons, known felons, people that are already in the system, to get them out, to protect us. Our federal government, every member from the local chief of police to the president of the United States has sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution, to protect this country and its sovereignty. And they are all looking the other way to benefit big business, big farm, and it's insane. It's insane because who's paying the price? We are. Citizens of the United States are paying the price in lower wages and in violence. Now, I've heard argued, and I can't believe this, that, well, there are more violent acts being performed by Americans than there are by these illegals that come in. What? Well, first of all, I should hope so, since there are over 300,000 legal citizens of the United States and a few thousand, 11 to 30,000 illegals. So I would hope that the ratio would be bigger. That's just common sense. Now, I don't know the numbers. Maybe I'll look it up if I can find it. It's kind of hard. But anyway, that is beside the point. Ann Coulter has argued even if there's one rapist, one murderer, one drug offender that comes through, that's reason enough to secure that border. Anyway, this guy is disgusting. He needs to, well, unfortunately, he's probably going to be tried in California. And if that's the case, he's not going to get the death penalty because this stupid state has outlawed the death penalty. Oh, I read an interesting article that I believe it was USA Today that said that this Sanchez is a resident of Texas. Really? Resident? He may hang his hat in Texas, but I seriously doubt it since he was released in Los Angeles and transferred to San Francisco. That's a little far from Texas, I'd say. But if that's the case, send him back to Texas because they'll kill him. Anyway, the man should be shot in the back and left to bleed to death. Eye for an eye, I say. All right, I don't want to get too long in this video, and I've given you my rant. I'm flabbergasted at the audacity of the San Francisco government to just release a known felon back on the streets with complete disregard to ICE's request to hold him. And I can't believe that ICE even gave him up in the first place. And yeah, okay. Enough of my rant. Just want to let you know what was going on and my opinion on it. It's disgusting, and people, there has to be hope for America. We have to do something because this is just getting worse. All right, anyway, leave your comments below, like, share, subscribe, and let me know what you think. See you next video. Bye.